Well, it's the 9th year that the Community Relations Council has given out its award for exceptional achievement. Therefore, people who work on the ground, practitioners who have shown real commitment to community relations and reconciliation, who over a prolonged period of time have shown that they are making impact at a local level or with a policy level, who have adhered to the principles that Community Relations Council think important around recognising diversity, developing good relations and understanding and promoting the sense of interdependence and shared nature of what this society should look like. Well, this year's recipient, the recipient for the 2015 Exceptional Achievement Award was Maureen Hetherington. Maureen comes from Derry, Londonderry, and has been working in this field for 25 years. Maureen has started and managed and made successful so many different projects that have impacted the lives of thousands of people up and down Northern Ireland, across these islands as well. She is one of the people that everybody working in this field, I think, knows and looks up to and sees as somebody who is a model of good practice when it comes to promoting good community relations and reconciliation work.
I became involved in community work when I was quite young, actually. I did a lot of sport, and I ended up coaching or refereeing or being a part. And the work, at that time, the sports would have involved a cross-community element. So from a very young age, I was exposed to the other, so to speak. So I would have had friends from both sides of the community. And later on in life, I would have continued to volunteer and then work with sports people. And then falling into this work almost, I was asked to work during Impact 92. And I met people who were involved in community relations work, and that started my journey. They suggested that I take on some courses, and I ended up going back to school doing a degree, a postgrad, and then a master's in humanities and peace building. So yeah, it was a strange journey, but doors opened for me at that time, and I was just delighted to go through them and explore more about community relations work. I have to say that it's an area of work where you go on a journey. And I think that you have to get to know yourself, and I think that you have to look very hard at your own prejudice, your own sectarianism, and that's quite a challenge. It's easy to stay in a victimhood mode and to challenge the perpetrator within yourself, and we all have that potential, and we all do that at different levels. So I suppose in that respect it was very challenging, also very, very rewarding, because as you open yourself to other possibilities, get to meet other people, your own story changes. So it's an ongoing changing journey, both challenging, but it's a particular field that's very, very rewarding. And you're processing stuff all the day. I mean, every day you go out there and you really don't know what to expect. You might facilitate a group and think that it's, one thing, and then you're just opened up to all sorts of different experiences. So there's never 2 days the same. To receive the Community Relations Award for Exceptional Achievement was overwhelming. Very humbled by it and very, very privileged, because, I represent one of many, many people who are out there working really hard at the grassroots, who are doing and taking risks day and daily. I'm very privileged in the work that I do. To be awarded is the only way that I can say that, and accept it, and it's not about being humble, is that it represents a community of people that I work with, but also all of those communities of people who are determined to make a difference, who work at the grassroots, a lot of unheard voices and a lot of unsung heroes. And I would like to think that hopefully the award that I received today hopefully represents all of those people that might not be getting acknowledged. And I think that that's important. It represents, for me, a community of people that I work with that do amazing work. And I couldn't be who I am today, and I couldn't do what I do without a community of really good people working alongside me. 17 years after the Good Friday Agreement, who'd have thought that we'd be sitting here in Stormont with the current impasse? And yet I'm not surprised. I do believe that our politicians, they come with their own baggage. They come with a very recent history of their own hurts, their own narrative, their own stories. I have no doubt that they, in their own way, wish to bring about change, but they're not willing to shift within their own narrative. I also feel that a lot of what they do is based on self-interests, and it's about a party political line. And I think that the only way that we can move forward is we're very open and generous to all of those contested narratives that are out there, and just in accepting and being generous to those narratives and say, look, we have these differences, we have to live with them, but how do we work now towards the greatest or the common good? What's in the best interests of society as a whole? And our current politicians, I don't think, have the capacity to go beyond that simply because they have their own history and their hurts and their baggage. Sometimes I think that we have to work hard to hold the peace at the level that we're working at. And maybe whenever those politicians move on, we'll get a new generation of people who don't have that toxic history. I'd like to think that we would start dealing with the past, because I feel that there's so many big justice issues and people have been hurt along the way, and that needs to be addressed if we are to heal a very broken, fragmented and sick society. So there is about dealing with the past at a number of different levels. I'm not talking about an official truth commission, but something that acknowledges all of those subaltern or silenced voices that are out there, that we give them a voice, that we allow them to say out very loud what it has been like for them, what are their hurts and what it is that they need. And the politicians take note. And that, I often talk about how we need to be bigger than ourselves. We can't think in a parochial setting, that we have to think much bigger than that. We live, we're not just Irish or British citizens, we're not dual citizens, we're European citizens and global citizens, and it's up to us to pave a way forward within this global world that we live in.